Big U hit with a second superseding indictment. Check out this exclusive from All Hip Hop. AllHipHop.com. Exclusive. Big U hit with superseding indictment for threatening to kill Nipsey Hussle and other supposed to be overt acts, but other overacts? Oh, all right. Anyways, Eugene Big U Henley faced new federal racketeering charges alleging threats against Nipsey Hussle and violent gang control tactics. Federal prosecutors have sharpened their case against Eugene Big U Henley with a slate of new overt acts that depict him as a violent shot caller who boasted about disciplining Nipsey Hussle and others, even as he publicly branded himself a community mentor. There we go right here. In a new superseding indictment, the government does not accuse Big U of playing any role in Hussle's 2019 killing outside the Marathon clothing store in South Los Angeles. Damn, it's been 2019 since that shit happened. The murder was prosecuted in state court where Ronald. I was about to say Ronald. I'm tripping. My bad, y'all. Eric Ronald Holder Jr. was convicted of first-degree murder and later sentenced to 60 years to life in prison. Instead, federal prosecutors say intercepted calls captured Big U's years later threatening to kill Nipsey Hussle and others in describing himself as the hunter of the Rollin 60s. Rhetoric they frame as part of a racketeering pattern of intimidation and control. On December 31st, 2022, on an intercepted call, Big U said that he was bigger than deceased rapper Nipsey Hussle and that he disciplined Nipsey Hussle and that defended he was bigger than any other Rollin 60, according to Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. On January 1st, 2023, on an intercepted call, defendant Big U said he was not beefing with Nipsey Hussle because if anyone beefs with Big U, I'ma kill him, period. I am going to murder him. The superseding indictment's new overt acts expanded far beyond the already detailed allegations about a Las Vegas studio artist's murder, dispensary robberies, and extortion payments. It adds a series of fresh overt acts that aim to show Big U and his associates using fear to tighten their grip on Los Angeles streets and on wealthy clients. In one added episode, Big U discusses disciplining a fellow Rollin 60s member identified as OG Crip Cuz, claiming he had to be beaten for perceived disrespect and warning that he could have had him killed instead. In another, he allegedly recounts a dispute involving Nipsey Hussle and other neighborhood figures, boasting that if things had gone differently, he would have had a problem with any man and that issue would have been resolved and he wouldn't be here or I wouldn't be here. A line prosecutor cite to show how Big U linked his status to life or death situations. So it's say right here, overt act number 155 on December 30th, 2022, on an intercepted call, defendant Henley said that when defendant Henley catches whack 100, I'm going to break his jaw. Yeah, me too, Big U. I'm kidding, y'all. I'm just kidding. Overt Act 156 on December 31st, 2022, on an intercepted call, defendant Henley said that defendant Henley was bigger than the deceased rapper Nipsey Hussle, that defendant Henley disciplined Nipsey Hussle, and that defendant Henley was bigger than any other Rollin 60. Okay. Overt Act number 157 on December 31st, 2022, on an intercepted call, defendant Henley said that if anyone has an issue with defendant Henley, they will no longer be alive. Overt Act number 158 on January 1st, 2023, on an intercepted call, defendant Henley said that he was not beefing with Nipsey Hussle because if anyone beefs with defendant Henley, I'ma kill him, period. I am going to murder him. Overt Act number 159 on December 2nd, 2023, on an intercepted call, defendant Henley told Big U Enterprise Associates DS that to manipulate the press for DS's lawsuit against law enforcement, DS should show both positive and negative parts of his life, wear glasses, and say that he was working with development options, even though he was not. Overt Act number 160 on January 2nd, 2023, on an intercepted call, defendant Henley told Big U Enterprise Associates DS that defendant Henley needed to at least break the producer's jaw. God damn, Big U. Additional new overt acts describe Big U threatening to mess up a South Central Los Angeles business after employees refused him a discount and talking about hanging out in rival Grape Street territory while saying he could kill motherfuckers every day. God. Prosecutors say he bragged about always having two blowers, aka guns, and being able to pay others to carry out assaults. The feds say this illustrates how he allegedly blended direct violence with outsourced muscle. The superseding indictment also adds detail about contraband smuggling, accusing Big U of arranging to get a cell phone into a state prison and then selling miniature phones for $1,000 each, treating incarcerated people as another source of revenue. Together, the new acts are designed to deepen the narrative that he leveraged his Rollin 60s pedigree, podcasts, and documentary appearances to project an image of reform. The feds say privately he was invoking executions, beatings, and armed enforcement that maintain what prosecutors call the Big U Enterprise's grip on Los Angeles. For now, Nipsey Hussle's death remains solely a state case. In federal court, Big U faces no homicide charge tied to the rapper yet. He wasn't a part of this shit. Duh, what the... Now listen, man, there's... In hoods in Los Angeles County, you had your young bulls, that's a Philly term, but you had your youngins and you had your older cats and all that stuff. And there's supposed to be a bit of structure. If you get out of line that structure, then you get summoned. They holler at you and all that. They deem whether you're going to get hands put on you, which is called a DP, or not. You might get a fine. You might get a car took from you. You might get told you can't come around here no more. A whole bunch of shit. There's a whole lot of things happen and a whole lot of shit. And it is what it is. But Big U is just bragging and talking shit. Not even necessarily bragging, but just talking shit, bro. Like, half of what he said ain't even happened. He said, oh, if I catch a Whack 100, I'm going to break his jaw. You was in front of Whack 100 and then break his jaw. So what the feds are doing is they're trying to say Big U is a whole entire gang leader. He had Nipsey Hussle DP'd. And that's that. Bro, DPs happen in hoods every day over petty shit. So I'm not going to say whether it happened or it didn't happen. But as far as, oh, Nip could have got blasted and all that, man, fuck out of here. No, we not going with that. Secondly, he just talking. He just talking. You say, oh, I got two blowers on me. Did he turn himself in with two blowers? Did y'all ever catch him with two blowers? Y'all been on Big U's heels for a decade. So if Big U would have read a stop sign and they would have caught his ass, they would have stripped his car and would have found the quote unquote two blowers. So nah, we not hearing that shit, bro. They're trying to add more salt on the Big U. They're trying to make sure that it's spread out, that they automatically say, well, even if we miss here, we're going to get here. It's basically throwing 1,000 darts and seeing which ones are going to land. Them saying Big U got communications of this and communications of that, all right. But if Big U was so violent and all that shit, then he would have had Nipsey Hussle killed for disrespecting him. Y'all heard you ain't got a clue. Or what you even do? Nigga had no houses up. Nigga had no pieces of my houses out. Like, come on, bro. So, nah, they just adding shit, bro. But Big U said, I don't got no beef with Nipsey Hussle. So what the hell is the point of that? What's the hell the point of that shit? Like, what's the point? Oh, ramp up hate. So now y'all want to use Nipsey Hussle's death and then try to make it seem like, oh, we may find something that he may have had something to do with this and with that and all this shit, bro. Let me tell y'all something, man. What happened to Nipsey Hussle is unfortunate, but it ain't had nothing to do with no goddamn Big U. And if it would have had something to do with Big U, I'm fairly certain something would have happened to Big U. Just gonna be all the way honest. A lot of y'all cats believe, and some of y'all do, that everybody around LA was afraid of Big U. That ain't true. that shit ain't true. He just ran his people the way that he ran his people according to the feds. So believe what you will. But I'm not finna sit up here, not the Big U I know. Nah, hell nah. I'm not finna sit up here and accept that bullshit. But if he did something, like I keep on saying, some of y'all get mad when I say this shit. They be like, well, you can't say this, say that. If Big U was dumb enough to do this shit that they accuse him to do, that's on him, nigga. You get what you get. Chin up, chest out, nigga. Ain't no, I don't spare nobody. You put yourself in situations and you ultimately roll that dice and gamble, that's your fault. Because at the end of the day, if he gets found guilty, you know what everybody gonna sit there and say? Your ass should have knew better. And this had nothing to do with nothing. There's no reason for a lot of this shit to happen. Bruh, you are a goddamn celebrity. You could have been doing drops. You could have been, man, there's so much shit Big U ass could have been doing, but that's why cats need management. Flat out. Now, some of y'all cats too alpha to be led by somebody and let them have their hand in your pot and all this shit. Man, listen, one hand that stirred this pot can get ingredients from over here. So shit, it is what it is. But man, we gonna see. But they dropped that second superseding indictment to basically, dare I say, put a reputational spin on them. Because if their damn evidence was really that solid, this shit wouldn't even be needed. But you want to use a big ass death of a California treasure to assault the damn jury. That's all that is. That's to manipulate the jury. That ain't for shit else. I see through that shit because Big U just asked for the people who are quote unquote telling on them the snitches and all this shit, but they failed to tell y'all this part. All his mail is being checked. His calls are being monitored. If he messes it up with his calls, they'll take his calls away. So what Big U is doing is looking at the angle that they're trying to hit him with and basically go at his defense. Now, some of y'all gonna say, Nash, that's bullshit. He's just trying to threaten the people and so he can expose who the snitches are and all this stuff and everything. Bruh, they can give him the snitches or the cooperating people against him, sit him in a goddamn room like they normally do with the lawyers, let him see the names, and ship his ass right back to his cell. And the moment that he says anything, bruh, ain't nobody crashing out for no goddamn Big U. I hate to say this to y'all, but ain't nobody sitting here running these streets about to crash out for Big U. You know where he's sitting at? Feds. You know what he's looking at? Life. Nigga, please. Yeah, all right. I wish the hell y'all would. This is a strategy by Big U and his team to say, we need to see this shit because we had to attack their credibility. So if I get a snitch and I find out this snitch is in the feds and he's on an appeal and all of this shit, then goddamn me. Hey, he got incentivization to come here and say whatever the hell he want to say. I'm going to be fair. But like I say, they put together a hell of a case and throw his ass down the damn cellar, and it is what it is. I'm not saying he's guilty or innocent. I'm saying let the facts play out, but I'll be damned if I don't call out what the feds are doing. But y'all, let me know y'all thoughts on this one. Share to keep your people aware, subscribe, turn on the bell, stay notified. Click right here, man, to see how that boy ended his own life, man. God damn, boy. man. Lil Papa video right here, the end. Click right here for the playlist. I'll catch you on the next one.